What's up guys, my name and summoner name is AlexJSimpson, and today I'm bringing you guys a Maokai gameplay commentary. This is one of my replays. So on this channel normally I do live commentaries on my gameplays, but because I actually have two computers, I have a PC and a MacBook, I normally play on my PC, I'm very comfortable playing on it. I record using the MacBook, and when I want to do live commentaries I have to use the MacBook, and I have Windows 7 boot camped on there. But what this means is basically I have to play on a smaller screen and in a really uncomfortable space. So it's very uncomfortable for me right now to actually make live gameplay commentaries, so I'm changing it up a bit. Right now I'm going to be commentating this game from the LoL replay. So my commentating style, don't know how I'm going to do this really, because I'm going to be talking about Maokai mostly, but I also want to kind of talk about the game in general. I may even refer to myself in the third person, which is going to be kind of weird. Maybe I'm just going to use the champion names, I'm not sure. Anyway, so I am playing Maokai in this gameplay. For those of you who don't know, I'm a Silver 1 player, and this is actually a ranked game. So yeah, this is a Silver 1 ranked game, and I'm playing Maokai. So on my team, what we have Caitlyn AD carry, we have Brand in the middle. Oh no, sorry, oh, that's the enemy team. God, that's a really great start to commentary. So I play Maokai jungle. The enemy jungle that they have is Lee Sin. In the top lane we have Darius versus Yorick, which is actually a pretty hard lane for Darius. In the mid lane we have Ziggs versus Brand. In the bot lane we have Varus versus Caitlyn. And as for supports we have Taric versus Nunu. So for Maokai at the start, what I do is, at 105, I put a sapling down. So Maokai's E is sapling toss. It deals damage on impact, but it also deals damage when it explodes. So you can kind of use them as a ward. They last 35 seconds and they explode if somebody runs nearby them. So with Maokai in the jungle, you can actually put down two of these, and when it hits 1 minute 40, they will both explode basically, and then you can throw another one dealing the damage of the initial impact. In Season 2, you used to be able to do this on the Wraiths, and it would like pretty much clear them out straight away, but because of Season 3, you don't really have boots, you have to start with a Hunter's Machete, so you can't get from here to blue buff too quickly, so it's kind of bad to do that now. So anyway, as you can see here, I actually threw this third sapling charge pretty late, but I managed to do some damage. I did this relatively quickly. Now my team actually did not give me a very good pull in this gameplay at all. So for Maokai abilities wise, so I take my E first. Oh yeah, Varus didn't want to come and help do damage to blue. He's like, no, I want XP. So I actually had to do a smited blue. So I didn't get smiteless, unfortunately. So that was kind of weird for me because I'm very used to getting smiteless. Anyway, so I take my Q next, and then I'll take my W at level 2. Level 3, sorry. So the Q, Arcane Smash, what it does is it kind of knocks the enemy back slightly, but on top of knocking them back, it also does a slow for a few seconds, which scales. So I max my Q first, and then I do my W, then my E. W is Twisted Advance, which is like a snare, and it kind of snares the enemy into the ground. It's a really useful move, especially for ganking. I often put a second point in my level, a second point in Sapling Toss kind of early game, because it helps just clear camps. I usually put it in at either level 4 or sometimes even level 5. And yeah, so that's how I kind of start Maokai, and he's a really, really good jungler. Anyway, so, directed camera mode, let's talk about the game as a whole. So the top lane we have Darius versus Yorick. Now this is a difficult lane for Darius because of how much harass he can actually take from Yorick. As you can see here, Maokai, or AlexJSimpson, I'm going to have to refer to myself in third person sometimes. I was almost going to come up here for a top lane gank, but I think I just kind of go back. I don't really do anything with it. We've got Lee Sin, who's kind of hanging around the mid lane here, and Ziggs take a little bit of harass from Brand. So as you can see, Maokai, or me, is still in the top lane, not really doing anything. It's kind of a wasted effort. So right now we got bot lane is going aggressive. The blue team bot lane is about to almost try and kill the purple bot lane. Luckily Taric gets the flash away and nothing happens there. Mid lane it looks like Lee Sin managed to gank onto Ziggs. Ziggs took some damage, but luckily he did not die. Ziggs, however, did have to burn his flash, as we can see there. Top lane, Darius is really pushed up, and he actually took a little bit of hits from Yorick. Yorick has been spamming his abilities, therefore he's kind of low on mana, so it's not a too bad a lane for Darius so far, but it looks like he might be going back or something, or maybe to ward. Actually, he doesn't have any wards, so he's not going to be warding anytime soon. Lee Sin now is actually going towards his blue buff. He decided to start red buff, and in this gameplay, I believe he actually gives over his blue buff to Brand at level 4, which actually makes for a very difficult lane for Ziggs. I remember he kept complaining to me saying, well, Brand got a blue buff at level 4. I'm like, well, I can't really give you my blue buff, because I kind of need it. As you know, Lee Sin is a manaless champion, does not require mana. Anyway, Lee Sin's going into the top lane gank. Darius has actually seen it by going into the brush. Lee Sin throws out his Q, and he managed to land his E. Darius puts a bit of damage onto Lee Sin. Lee Sin does a fairly okay gank. Doesn't really do much to Darius. He doesn't take too much damage, but Lee Sin takes more damage than Darius does. Maokai right now on me, I'm basically going to be ganking through their side of the jungle. There is actually a ward here that I was unaware of, and there's also a Caitlyn trap. I knew that they had Caitlyn, so I was being very wary not to step on the trap. Usually they put it right in the center, because that's just what players do. Caitlyn right now uses Cleanse. She also uses Flash after I've used my my root, and I managed to kill her with my Q. So I didn't really want to get the kill there, but Varus is too far away to get the finish off, so I thought I'll get first blood as opposed to letting her go. In a perfect world, I'd have let Varus get the kill. And Taric doesn't die, but he gets kind of low. So we managed to pick up first blood. Right now we got 6.5k gold, they got 5.9, so, well, actually now 6. So we've actually got a 0.6 advantage right now, which is pretty decent. So that's first blood and a bit more, so we basically out-farming them as well. In the mid lane, Brand is harassing Ziggs, and of course, because Brand has the blue buff, he's actually able to do some significant harass to Ziggs. Ziggs was actually calling out for asking for ganks quite a lot, but there's a lot of opportunities where I really couldn't gank. Maybe, in hindsight, I could have ganked a little bit more, but I was trying to make sure that all the other lanes are winning as well. So, as you can see, Ziggs is really low health. We got Lee Sin coming in on the right-hand side of the mid lane. He's just walked over one of his own wards, and it looks like he's going to try and tower gank Ziggs, but that would have been a terrible idea for Lee Sin because he's level 4. Right now, if he was to land a really good Q and maybe use his flash, which he actually does have up, he probably could kill Ziggs here. I'm not too sure exactly what happens. I come in because I have a feeling that Brand's going to go aggressive on Ziggs. Fortunately, Brand managed to kill Ziggs with the ulti, but I managed to root him in place, Q him into the tower, and get a kill for myself. So unfortunately, Ziggs fell. I don't know if he got an assist. Actually, he didn't get an assist, unfortunately, but I do manage to hold the lane and get a kill myself, so it wasn't completely wasted. So right now, we've still got the 0.6k advantage in gold. It looks like my bot lane is just pinged that they've got a ward, we've got a ward there, and they haven't got a ward there at the moment. So yeah. So Darius has just gone back top lane. I think he took quite a lot of damage, and I've also gone back as well to going back and buy. I had quite a lot of items. So with Maokai, talk about build and stuff. So Boots mobility is great on Maokai because it really allows for those really nice early game ganks. He's a pretty naturally tanky dude. I mean, with just mobility boots alone, I probably wouldn't tower dive unless the support was taking some flack. But yeah, I got the Spirit Stone as well. Looks like Lee Sin was actually trying to invade my jungle. I managed to catch him out in doing so and kind of push him back. What he was doing is he's warding my blue buff, and he's actually have a little bit of a fight on blue buff. So right now I'm just pinging to my mid lane saying, dude, look, okay, they're trying to take the blue buff. I need you to come and help me. So they have a ward here. We didn't have a ward there, unfortunately. I'd have liked to have had a ward there. I'm just kind of trying to drag the blue out here. I was kind of hoping that Lee Sin may have warded this area. Sometimes junglers ward over the wall and don't get a really good wall down. As you can see, we have Lee Sin and Brand trying to come into the blue buff. We've got Nunu coming from the bottom, and they're starting to do some damage to the blue. But the blue's kind of resetting itself constantly. It's been auto-attacked quite a few times. So I throw my E in, and what I managed to do is I can kind of see them trying to take it. See, Nunu's about to try and consume, so I smite and steal the blue for myself. Now, actually, funnily enough, Ziggs was saying, oh, why'd you steal that? I'm just like, well, dude, you're not going to get it, okay? That Nunu has probably got consume. In fact, he does have a point in his consume, so I did the right thing. So I managed to stop them from invading blue. They wasted a ward on it. It hasn't really helped them out that much, and we wasted some time. And I think Varus was farming the entire time. I don't remember seeing him come up here. Top lane, we have Darius. He's pushed Yorick to tower, which is pretty cool. Having a look at the CS, Darius right now has 47, and so does Yorick. So they're even in CS. I actually haven't ganked top lane yet, whereas the enemy Lee Sin had. And Darius isn't looking in too bad shape considering. Yorick has actually been back for items as well. And okay, so now they're trading right now. Darius wastes the ignite on Yorick. I think he was worried about Yorick going super aggressive. Yorick has his ultimate, and so does Darius. But it was a bad trade for Darius in the end. As you can see here, I'm just taking my red buff, trying to make sure that getting it as fast as I can so that Lee Sin doesn't come and invade. Looks like Darius is putting a bit more harass down onto Yorick, but Yorick's ghouls are kind of keeping Yorick healed up, and Darius cannot actually get a kill at this point. Looking over to bot lane, it looks like their enemy bot lane is pushed to their tower. We've got Varus kind of farming. As for farm right now, it's 54 CS to 49, and he actually has an assist, and Caitlyn has a death. So right now, the bot lane is actually ahead. We got Lee Sin, who's taking their red buff, and I think he could quite easily go for a gank on the mid lane. Got a few pings going out. I was originally going to gank Brand, I remember this point, but then I saw that Yorick looks like he wants to die. So as you can see here, I walk over a ward and I use my root. Yorick busts his flash. I Q and I take a lot of damage. I put down my ultimate to kind of try and minimize some of that damage. Darius, unfortunately, goes way too aggressive on Yorick at this point, but he does manage to get out. I'm on low health at this point, but I was basically getting ready to snare Yorick if I had to. Yorick was luckily low on mana, so all that came out from that engage is that Yorick busted his flash, but unfortunately, Darius did the same. So it was kind of a flash for a flash, and a little bit of tower damage, I think. So right now, the enemy blue buff is up. Lee Sin's actually pinging it to try and give it to Brand again. Because Lee Sin gave away that early blue buff, though, I'm actually ahead of him in XP. So if we have a look at Lee Sin, I'm actually trying to click on him, sorry I can't. So as you can see here from Lee Sin, he's level 5 right now, as opposed to me, who's level 7. I mean, I have had a lot more successful ganks. In fact, Lee Sin hasn't had a successful gank yet. I've had 2 kills, and I actually have a lot more CS than him. So I'm very much ahead of Lee Sin right now. So it looks like Brand managed to collect the blue buff, and Lee Sin has just hit level 6, whereas I'm probably quite close to hitting level 8. Ziggs is pinning on Brand, asking for a gank because Ziggs hasn't got blue buff. Unfortunately, I couldn't really secure in the blue buff because I had to steal it from Nunu myself. Our bot lane's gone back at this point. Varus has gone to buy. He's kind of going for the Blade of the Ruin King build. It's very good on Varus. I mean, his auto attack range and the active from Blade of the Ruin King, I think they're fairly similar. He's not the longest range of champions. Anyway, so look at the mid lane. Ziggs is trying to farm at range. Brand is kind of zoning him out at this point, but luckily Ziggs can still get farm. If we have a look at the mid lane farm right now, 54 CS to Ziggs as opposed to Brand's 74, and Brand actually has a kill. So right now Ziggs is behind. Really, the jungler, as in me, should be ganking mid lane a bit more now, but unfortunately I'm not. Darius is taking a couple of hits right now from the top lane. It looks like Yorick's ghouls are doing some damage. Chunked him down to about half HP. It looks like he's going in for a little bit more harass. I don't know why Darius is taking all this shit from Yorick. He's putting very little stacks from his passive onto Yorick, and Yorick's just healing up instantly. If we have a look at Yorick's build, he's gone for a Tear of the Goddess, and he's also gone for a Kindle Gem. So it looks like he could go for a Spirit Visage or Visage. I always say Visage, but it sounds quite posh when I say it. Anyway, it looks like I've gone in for a mid lane gank. I managed to not unfortunately bust Brand's flash, unfortunately, but I did a bit of damage to Brand. I also made my presence known. I also knew that Lee Sin was around, so I was kind of disengaging before he came in and did a counter gank. So we have a look at mid lane right now. Lee Sin is kind of still hanging around. I've put a sapling in the bush, acting as a ward. I'm surprised the sapling didn't actually walk into Lee Sin. It was in range. Have a look at top lane right now. We have Yorick is actually quite pushed up, and it looks like he's actually going to be going for a ward. So there's actually a ward in the brush there. And Darius is coming back to lane. He's got one ward. He's got a bit of armor, but I don't think this guy knows that Yorick mainly deals magic damage, so he probably should have got those boots. I was about to say boots of lucidity. I meant to say tenacity boots. Right now, off the top of my head, I can't think of what they're called. Holy shit, this is really bad for commentary. And it looks like he managed to get the pull on Yorick. Yorick's taking a little bit of damage. Yorick's kind of low on mana, so if they were to fight extensively, it could result in Darius coming out on top. Yorick's ghouls are just doing work, though. They're really healing him. They're kind of healing him through the Darius passive. Darius is a little bit of a threat right now, but he's taking a lot of free damage. He's kind of zoning out Yorick, so he can't do damage. If we look in the mid lane, it looks like Brand is trying to land his stun onto Ziggs. I don't think he could kill him at this point. Ziggs is way too far into tower. At this point, I knew that they were probably going to try and come in for another blue buff steal. As you can see here, instead of going for the blue buff steal, we have Brand and Lee Sin walking over a ward in the mid lane, so I knew that they were there. I was trying to give the blue buff to Ziggs, and I could see that they were going to lane gank bottom. So right now, bottom lane is kind of hanging around near the turret. Now, these two in the bush, I had no idea that they were here. But unfortunately, I go and face check, and I take some damage. But luckily, being Maokai, I actually managed to snare, put my ultimate down. I get kicked out by Lee Sin, and in the all chat, I said, "Oh, thanks, Lee Sin. Thanks for saving me." But then Caitlyn ultied me. But we traded a kill on Maokai for Lee Sin, so each jungler both died. Unfortunately, I was worth, I think, a little bit more gold than Lee Sin, because I actually had 2 kills and an assist when I died. I think that actually accumulates in more gold. I can't remember if 2 kills equals some kind of, like, bonus. Anyway, so right now the bot lane is actually going quite aggressive onto Caitlyn. We had the stun and the shatter come out from Taric. They're doing quite a bit of damage to Caitlyn. Nunu's kind of low on health as well, so I don't think Caitlyn and Nunu could win in a fight. Also, they've pushed my bot lane to tower, so they can't really go aggressive right now. They're pinging in the brush. I'm not exactly too sure why. Maybe they're just trying to call out that there's a ward there. There's ward in each brush, so they're not going to get lane ganked anytime soon. They also have a ward in the tri-brush, but they haven't got one on Dragon anymore. It's kind of run out by this time. Don't know why they're pinging mad. It seems that... Oh, they're going in for a teleport. It looks like Yorick is teleporting bottom lane. Taric manages to kill Nunu, but unfortunately... well, whilst they managed to just pick up the kill on Caitlyn, and luckily Varus got the kill, unfortunately Caitlyn received the ultimate from Yorick and managed to kill Taric, and it was a 3-for-2, sorry, a 1-for-2 trade. Sorry, no, a 2-for-2 trade. Damn it, I'm really messing this up, but yeah, it's the first time commentating a game in full, so yeah, you know, I'm still trying to get used to it. Anyway, so right now in the mid lane, we actually see that Brand is on half HP, whereas Ziggs is on full. Ziggs is kind of chilling on tower right now, he's not really too bothered. Have a look at their CS. We've got 88 CS for Ziggs and 99 for Brand. Ziggs actually managed to get an assist in that team fight that we had around the blue in the bot lane earlier. So he's not too far behind, but right now he's still behind Brand in general. Lee Sin looks like he might be going up for a gank top lane. Darius sees him on the ward and doesn't actually back immediately, but as we can see here, Yorick is pretty far away, so even if Lee Sin does all his slows and stuff, he's not going to be able to do much. It looks like Darius has gone for the ignite on Lee Sin. Lee Sin used his ultimate, and Darius managed to finish off Lee Sin with his ultimate, which has still got its, it's still not on cooldown because he gets to use his ultimate one more time, but at this point I just kind of use my ultimate to tell Yorick to back off. Yorick at this point didn't actually have his ultimate up. If we went super aggressive, we may have been able to kill him or at least force him out of lane, but we weren't 100% sure of when he had his ultimate up, so we decided to disengage instead. Maybe we'll take that 1-for-0 over maybe tower diving and dying again. So right now the enemy Lee Sin, he's really far behind on CS. He's right now I've got 22 CS above him. Also I have 2 kills on him. So right now I'm really far ahead in CS and also gold in general. Let's have a look at the gold amounts right now. So as you can see, I have got 4,000 gold in total. It's 1,200 more than Lee Sin. It's quite a considerable lead considering, you know, both jungle and the score isn't super uneven. Anyway, let's go back to the action. Nunu uses his ultimate, manages to trap Varus and Nunu both into it. Caitlyn is kind of ADing. She's kind of auto-attacking at range. She manages to just miss the Q. And to use her ultimate, she still has her passive available, and Varus manages to kill Nunu, and then Varus also manages to kill Caitlyn, manages to turn it around. It looked like they were doomed after that Nunu ultimate, but luckily, really well played by Varus there. They managed to survive, and obviously, Taric's W, the passive on that, managed to help keep them alive as well, so they didn't take too much auto-attack damage. So it was really well played by Varus there. So, if you have a look right now at the top lane, it looks like I've just bumped into Lee Sin. I threw a sapling at him and it chased him. So we kind of managed to kind of counter gank, tried to make sure that nothing too bad was going to happen. Lee Sin is actually going towards my race right now. It looks like he's going to try and scout out the jungle to see if anybody's here. And he's now actually going to top lane. Darius is overextending like an absolute boss. Maokai is kind of low on mana and is going back right now. But he sees that his friendly Darius is getting attacked. He gets ultimated by Lee Sin. Darius managed to put that bit of damage down onto Lee Sin. And Maokai comes in with a snare and his ultimate. And Darius manages to finish off Lee Sin. That did not look like it was actually going to go in the favor of the purple team there. But luckily, they managed to do enough damage to Lee Sin, who is really far behind. So he's not tanky at all right now. So it's kind of understandable why they lost that engage. And Brand also came up from the mid lane, but unfortunately could not get there in time. And both Darius and Maokai both recalled on the tower. Still getting used to referring to myself in the third person. So let's have a look at my build, because I am supposed to be talking about myself as a jungler. So as you can see here, I've managed to pick up Locket the Iron Solari. The reason I went for this is because they have a fair bit of AD damage, but they also have quite a bit of magic damage, and a lot of it's kind of AoEs, such as Yorick's spells and Brand's spells and the new spells. So in this gameplay, I actually go for both Locket the Iron Solari and Aegis of the Legion. Now, normally when I play jungle, I usually get one or the other, so it depends if they have more AD or they have more magic. But in this case, I kind of thought to myself, I'm going to get both, just to be safe. I'll talk about my build as the game goes on. Right now, I just unfortunately missed that, but Varus just picked up a kill on Nunu bot lane. Nunu's right now is 0-4. He's actually not worth very much gold, and Caitlyn is forced to stay on tower. Right now, we have Lee Sin and Brand both coming for a gank in the bot lane. I actually pinged it out to the bot lane saying, dudes, go back. They actually had a ward in the tri-brush, but it's about to run out. Ziggs looked like he was actually going to be coming bot lane there, but he kind of decided to back off and just go to his tower. And also Maokai, or me, whatever you want to say, put down a ward. So we've got the entrance warded. Actually, I think Taric warded it, but fair enough. So I kind of knew that Lee Sin was here, and I was just kind of walking to the brush to kind of let him know. I didn't think he'd be right there, though. I kind of thought he'd be about there. But yeah, I just pinging back. I didn't want to go in on it. I knew that Lee Sin was kind of weak, but he's not worth gold, so it's not worth, like, both of us going hella, like, ham on him, and then Brad coming along and taking the kill. Ugh, yawning. Unfortunately, missed another kill. Sorry, direct-to-camera, not been using you enough, but Varus managed to kill Caitlyn in a 1v1, which is pretty good. Brand's going bot lane now for the gank. Right now, Darius is... let's have a look at CS for Darius. He's got 137 CS to Yorick's 108, so he's actually ahead, and he's ahead in kills right now. And we look at bot lane. Nunu's using the ultimate, and he managed to catch Maokai in it. Ziggs' ultimate comes down. Unfortunately, only hits Nunu, does not hit Brand. And Brand manages to stun Taric for the disengage. And Lee Sin is walking into the brush. He goes to ward it. And unfortunately, we could not land the stun, so Lee Sin's kind of getting away scot-free. And we have a look at the top lane right now. Darius is actually pulling Yorick into the tower. He's doing quite a lot of damage, but Yorick is still healing up with his ghouls. Look at the bot lane again. Taric is having to be forced back because it's a 3v2 bot lane. Maokai's kind of hanging around on the tower. And it looks like Maokai is coming in, and because he knows that Nunu and Brand are both low on health, and Lee Sin isn't very tanky at this point. And Varus manages to land the ultimate and kill Nunu outright. Nunu's not actually worth gold right now. The only person that was worth focusing there is Caitlyn. She's still worth gold at this point. And Maokai's just kind of wasting his saplings, or I'm wasting my saplings. I need to figure out if I'm going to go third person or not. Anyway, Brand managed to land the pillar onto Taric, and he's going to just go back. And whilst Darius was back, then Yorick managed to take the top tower. We look at the blue team's top tower. It's fairly low itself, so if Yorick goes out of lane for long enough, Darius should be able to just push top and take it. Blue team's turret's been destroyed. A turret just got destroyed. Okay, mid turret just went down, so that was pretty good. So we lost top tower, but we also got mid tower, and we won the team fight. So if we have a look at the gold right now, the purple team is almost 4.5 K gold ahead. It's pretty considerable lead. 13 kills to 4. Both teams have got a tower each at this point. And in CS, it seems that for the majority of the lanes, that the purple team are winning. Have a look at top lane, for example. Like I said, Darius is winning in CS, as in for the jungle. I'm winning over Lee Sin. Mid lane, it seems that Ziggs is actually caught up and overtaken Brand in CS, but Brand still has that kill on him, so right now he probably has more gold in the bank right now. Look at bot lane, we have 147 CS to 135, so it's fairly even in the bot lane, but you look at the kills, and Varus is 8-1 right now. It's crazy. Nunu, for some reason, is going kind of aggressive, or overextending even in his lane, considering he was alone, and Caitlyn is right now in the shop still. So that was a really bad play from Nunu. In fact, actually, I remember this game quite well because it only happened yesterday. The enemy team were flaming Nunu hard, and they were asking for him to be reported. And I do think he goes AFK at some point, unfortunately. So have a look at the top lane right now. Darius is actually taking a lot of free damage from Yorick. Yorick just actually busts his ultimate so he can do more damage. Unfortunately, Ziggs' ultimate misses, and Darius looks like he's been ignited. No, he's actually ignited. Sorry, Yorick actually has teleport, and unfortunately, Yorick is really low on health. Darius lands an auto attack but misses the Q, and Yorick just gets away on really low HP at this point. But whilst all that was happening, our bot lane managed to pick up the dragon, which is pretty damn good, and I actually helped as well. I think I miss-smited, I can't remember it. I'm going to go mid lane just to make sure it doesn't go into the tower. Just give the CS over to Ziggs. So, Caitlyn gets stunned by the Taric, and it looks like Varus is trying to land his ultimate, I think. No, actually, yeah, he did land the ultimate, but Caitlyn had cleanse handy, so she managed to cleanse it. And Nunu goes in for the ultimate here, but kind of gets stunned in the process, so it doesn't do much damage. And Yorick has TP bot lane. Varus, all he needs to do is get 1 or 2 more auto attacks onto Caitlyn. He's kind of going really, like, aggressive here. Tower diving, which is kind of unnecessary, but it looks like they wouldn't have been able to get away anyway because of the Yorick slow. So they managed to pick up the Caitlyn kill, and Yorick managed just to shut down Varus. So that was quite worthwhile for the blue team. But luckily, whilst all this was happening, Darius managed to take the top lane. And that's that. So it was a 2-for-1 exchange, and we also got a tower out of it. So right now it's 2 towers to purple team and 1 tower to blue team. Darius is checking out the blue team's jungle to see if they have a blue buff ready. At this point, I am on tower, and I knew that it was 4v1. I was telling Darius to just keep pushing top. There's not much I could do here. I couldn't really recall because I was getting a Q harass from Lee Sin. And at this point, it looks like they're going really aggressive on me. I put down my ultimate. I try and take as much damage as possible and actually deal a lot of damage. Ziggs comes in to try and help me out. Unfortunately, he does not have his ultimate handy at this point. I think he's already used it and missed it. And fortunately, I died. Ziggs managed to survive, though. It almost killed Lee Sin. Lee Sin at this point still hasn't got a kill. He's really not very tanky. But we managed to save the bot lane tower. And whilst all this was happening, Darius is just pushing the top lane and farming. So whilst Maokai, or I, did die, it was kind of worth it. We kind of got to push top lane out a bit more and farm. So having a look at the gold right now, still the purple team's really far ahead of the blue team, 5k. So that difference I think is actually increased. I can't remember what I said it was at last time. The pink ward on the dragon has run out, but I think the dragon's already been taken. Yes, they only took it a couple of minutes ago. So if we have a look right now, there's 2 towers to 1 for the purple team. So right now, mid tower and top tower are both gone. Bot lane could easily take the bottom tower. All they need to do is get a significant push. And it's fairly low on HP, as is, though, the purple lane bot tower. So those are going to most likely be the next towers to go. And Taric managed to get the stun on Nunu. And Varus just goes aggressive on Nunu there. Managed to kill him. Nunu, though, is worth 0 gold. He's just kind of like a free ward. He's just kind of guarding the tower slightly. The bot lane's having to back off because Lee Sin and Brand are coming in for the bot lane gank. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to do very much, though, because bot lane has disengaged, and Caitlyn's there as well. So they're in a 3v2, so it's a good job they disengaged. Yorick right now just pushing up the top lane. Darius is very nearby, though, just taking bits of the jungle. Maokai is just kind of taking bits of the jungle at this point, too. There's very little he can really do right now. So let me have a look at my build. So I'm about to go back and buy Aegis by the looks of things. Let's have a look at the gold. Yep, I'm just about to go and buy Aegis. Oh, let's have a look at the top lane, sorry. It looks like Ziggs is trying to gank on Yorick. Darius taking a bit of free damage. He's actually going past Ziggs, kind of trying to bait Yorick down there. And it looks like he's going to go in and try and land the pull. He hasn't actually activated it yet. He uses his Q, but it doesn't hit at all. Ziggs manages to propel himself using his W and misses with the minefield. Yorick right now is just doing some pro baits right now. Looks like Darius is trying to get close to Yorick, but he only has level 1 boots. And he actually managed to get the pull. But it looks like this is a bait because Brand comes in from the bot lane. Ziggs lands his ultimate, and unfortunately, it looks like Darius is going to fall. Yorick is so close to dying, but he has his ultimate. He actually manages to die to Darius' passive, but it's a 2-for-1 exchange. And bot lane, Varus has managed to kill Nunu for the billionth time in this gameplay so far. And Varus is just able to chunk Caitlyn down. Taric uses the shatter and the ultimate, and then also the flash, and Varus managed to kill him. So right now there's none of the blue team bot lane, so they can just take that tower right now. Also top lane, they're trying to counter this by taking the top lane, but they actually have Maokai there, so they can't really take the tower. So bot lane's just going to chunk down the bot tower, and hopefully that will be a tower for the purple team. And as you can see, top lane, I managed to actually defend the tower. And now, right now I actually catch Lee Sin trying to steal our blue buff. I'm trying to just delay him at this point. I realize that their team and my team are both in base. I probably could 1v1 Lee Sin at this point, but I'd run out of mana probably before I managed to get the kill. Maokai isn't really a damage champion. I mean, he does do some pretty decent damage, but he's not like known for being very damaging. You can build Maokai AP, he can be strong, but he's best played as a tank. So let's have a look at my items right now. Oh, you got a good game. So right now I've got Aegis and I've got Lockets, so I'm pretty damn tanky. I've got some really good stats if you have a look here. Got 149 armor and 81 magic resist. If I had gone for the magic resist boots, I'd obviously have quite a lot more, but I've gone for mobility. So when playing as Maokai, because I go for mobility boots, I do find that Aegis is a really good option because I'm missing the MR I normally get from boots. So I do usually get Aegis on Maokai over Locket the Iron Solari. But Locket the Iron Solari is really good because of the cooldown reduction it gives you with the Kindle gem that builds into it. So it gives you 10% cooldown reduction overall. So right now we have a look at the kills. It's 19-9. It's considerably in the favor of the purple team. And right now Darius is kind of taking a bit of free damage. Maokai managed to put a sapling in the brush so they can see people coming from the mid lane brush. Right now it's a 3v3 mid lane. Not too sure where the rest of the teams are. We got Varus bot lane. We got Taric coming into the middle lane. And we also have Lee Sin going to the middle lane. So it's going to be a 4v4 minus the AD carries. Right now, the blue team is trying to push up onto the purple team, but luckily, champions like Ziggs can actually wave clear at range pretty well. And right now, Taric managed to get the stun onto Brand, and Maokai managed to get the snare. Brand is outside of Maokai's ultimate, unfortunately, so Brand's just kind of chunking everybody down, but the purple team has way more damage due to more gold and items. And Varus actually misses his ultimate, but unfortunately manages to still kill. I say unfortunately, he fortunately still managed to kill Lee Sin. I think it's because he has the red buff on him, and they managed to get a really good team fight there. It was a 4-for-0 exchange. It's not looking very good for the blue team right now. As you can see, it's 23 kills to 9. As for gold, it's almost a 10,000 gold lead. Very close to 10,000 gold lead for the purple team. Right now they got 5 towers. It's about to be their 6th tower as opposed to 1 tower. So as you can see, you can clearly see how they have this lead. And now they do have the 10k gold lead. And they're also going to manage to pick up an inhibitor after all of this. Whilst all this is happening, blue team's actually tapping purple team. That doesn't look like they're going to be able to get a kill. But Varus is just pushing the bot lane. But it looks like he's probably going to have to go back at this point, because he's about to bump into the entire blue team. He's not careful, so he manages to disengage. Top tower is quite pushed right now, and it's being pinged to take the top tower. But right now, a lot of the blue team have noticed that the top tower is pushed, so I don't think that we've been able to actually take the tower. So instead, whilst the top tower is pushed, we're going to take a free dragon, and that's going to be that. It looks like right now the purple team could quite easily take Baron with the inhibitor down mid. If they keep the bot and top lanes pushed and get a pink ward even, they should be able to take it with ease. Nunu right now going toward the dragon to unfortunately find it's just been taken from in front of him. Varus looks like he's going back at this point. He doesn't want to engage on Lee Sin, and Brand is actually getting incredibly close. Ugh, keep yawning. Unfortunately, Brand did not catch Varus recalling in time, did not manage to stun him. But yeah, it's a good job that Varus went back there. He didn't go too greedy and decide to attack Lee Sin. Speaking of Lee Sin is actually worth gold again at this point, which is really good. So let's have a look at Maokai's build. I don't think much has changed. Right, so I'm going for a Spirit Visage because it gives me that extra bit of magic resist, but it also works really well with his passive. I realised when I talked about the abilities earlier... Oh, unfortunately we lost bot lane. When I talked about Maokai's abilities before, I did forget to talk about his ultimate. His ultimate actually... targets inside have reduced damage by 20%, and he actually manages to absorb some of the damage and send it back to the enemy team when he detonates his ultimate. With AP, this ultimate can do quite a lot of damage. It does a fair amount of damage anyway, but the reason that you put the ultimate up is because of the 20% damage that you take, reduction that you get. It's really strong ultimate, and right now Varus actually ultimates Lee Sin through the wall, and Taric also gets the stun, but Varus managed to land the Q, but can't really do very much more. Lee Sin is getting away on 1 HP, and Taric manages to flash, but his stun is not going to be up for a while. Ziggs manages to land Minefield over the wall, and he's doing quite a considerable amount of damage to Brand. Nunu puts his ultimate on in the brush, doesn't manage to actually hit anybody, and Varus manages to take down Brand. So they exchange Brand for Taric, and then Ziggs also manages to take out Nunu. So anyway, talking very quickly about Varus' ultimate. So yeah, it deflects damage, but his passive as well. Basically, he heals for 7% of his max health. Every time 5 abilities are cast around him, he manages to... next auto attack basically will heal him for 7% of his max HP. So if you build a lot of HP, you can get some mad heals. Anyway, Spirit Visage actually helps with that. And it looks like the top lane managed to take another tower. So right now we have a look at the towers. It's 7-2. The gold lead has even increased even more. We're looking at almost, well, we're looking at 11,000 gold difference, which is quite considerable. The Baron here looks like it could easily be taken by the purple team. They just need to get a pink ward on there, like I said. The lanes are even pushed up even more, considering they just took the top tower. So right now, the blue team is left with just their inhibitor towers for top and bot, and they've left mid exposed, but that inhibitor is going to be up fairly soon. It was taken quite a while ago. Okay, so let's have a look. So right now the kills difference is 26-10. It's quite a considerable lead. I know I keep mentioning the gold and kills, but as you can see, like the blue team have managed to get a couple of kills. They're like coming back a little bit. They're not as behind in kills as they were before, but they're still behind in gold because purple team keep taking the objectives. Varus getting the red buff at this point. Looks like they're all kind of gathering around for the Baron. Right now, the blue team doesn't have vision on the Baron. Let's have a look at what vision that they do have. They have very little vision when it comes to objectives. It looks like the support isn't warding in the right places. I mean, there's 2 wards in this, 3 wards in this area alone. Really, really badly placed. Let's have a look at the enemy team blue buff. It looks like they're going for an invade. Darius looks like he actually did take the blue buff. And we have 5 of the purple team on the Baron. And right now there's no vision whatsoever from the blue team. Now their lanes are considerably pushed, so it's not entirely surprising that they don't have vision here. But we'd have probably just pink warded it anyway. So because of the amount of objectives that have been taken due to lack of wards, we've managed to take the Baron and push our advantage even further to an 11,500 gold difference. And we managed to catch out Nunu in the mid lane. Varus kind of wastes his ultimate, which is really pointless, because, you know, Nunu is worth very little gold. 0 and 11, he's probably worth 27 gold per kill. but killing him does actually apply some pressure. He's not going to be able to ultimate in the middle of a team fight, but Varus' ultimate's really, really good because it bounces from target to target, so it's a very massive waste of an ultimate from Varus. Lee Sin gets caught out in the enemy jungle by Varus and gets ultimated. Varus gets ultimated by Lee Sin, kicks him back, but to no use because he dies. Anyway, so it looks like the purple team are actually trying to take the bot tower, but they don't have enough minions right now. They can't really push up too far. Brown's just trying to get some free damage, but they're actually avoiding his skills. Maokai is kind of just roaming between the middle lane. He's been pushing it, and he's now going bot lane. Just waiting for the minions, and as you can hear, that's the Maokai's laugh. He makes his sapling laugh, and then he laughs as well. And Yorick actually gets baited out really hard by the ward. He wants to get that free 25 gold, and he gets actually absolutely melted by Darius, by his ultimate. Unfortunately, though, we do actually lose Varus. It was fairly good. In the old chat, I remember Yorick was saying that he did that on purpose. Clearly, that's not really the case. He's just trying to make his death look more valiant than it actually was. He said, oh, you know, we killed Varus. But we've traded Yorick for Varus, and unfortunately, we also traded Darius for Caitlyn. And it looks like Tarek is taking a lot of tower hits at this point. I'm not too sure what he's doing, but Rand is very low on health. Ziggs right now really isn't helping too much, but he does land his W onto Lee Sin, but it looks like Tarek's going to fall. And it, unfortunately... Oh, wow, okay. Ziggs manages to kill Lee Sin and almost kills Brand. Tarek gets out of there on a sliver of health. Whilst this is happening, though, I am pushing top lane and taking the tower. So that 8 tower advantage, or not advantage, well, 6 towers over them becomes 7 towers over them. And we also pick up the inhibitor bot lane. Right now, as you can see, Brand is still on low HP, and so is Tarek. I mean, the trade for Tarek and Brand is such a good one. And unfortunately, Nunu falls to Ignite. I say unfortunately, it's unfortunate for the blue team, but I'm not on the blue team, so that's a good thing. So we traded both the supports for each other. It was actually a much better trade, though, for the blue team there, because Tarek is worth a lot more gold. And as I said earlier, Nunu rage quit. That was his rage quit. He was done. He was not going to stand around getting flamed by his team any longer, and he is away from the game. Almost a 13,000 gold lead now. The gold lead is just increasing over time. And Varus is going to take the dragon here, so it's going to increase even more. So right now, the purple team, or my team, what we need to do is kind of take this inhibitor. Oh, never mind. We take the dragon, and the enemy team... the enemy team surrenders because they have no Nunu. There's no way that they can win. So that's the end of the game, guys. I hope you enjoyed the commentary. It's my first time doing this kind of commentary. Let's have a look at my items before I finish the commentary. I think I was sitting on quite a lot of gold at this point. I hadn't really been back very much. Let's have a look. Unfortunately, I can't check the gold. Okay, there we go. Now I can. I was sitting on 10,000 gold. So having a look at their team, they had AD, AP, Magic and AD, but it's kind of AoE magic damage. Lee Sin is AD, and Nunu, who was actually rage quit. What I'd have probably bought at this point would have been Frozen Fist, most likely. It's quite good on Maokai because it's not the kind of thing I normally go for, but I wasn't really dying in team fights. I was too tanky, so a bit of damage would have helped. But I'd also get some mana and some cooldown reduction from Frozen Fist, so that would have been really good. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the commentary. Give the video a like rating and leave a comment in the comment section below, and subscribe for more League of Legends content. Thanks for watching.